10:46 a.m. in the morning of September 11th, 2001, the United States went to war on terrorism, but over 30 minutes earlier at 8:14, FAA's air traffic controllers were already at war.
I first got a page at 8:35 in the morning on September 11th, was that we had a possible hijack, an aircraft from Boston, currently over Albany, New York at 31,000 feet and heading southbound.
We were coordinating with the Regional Operations Center, the Washington Operations Center, as to what we knew about American 11. Getting that information out, being the eyes and ears for those, not only the command center, but also for senior leadership in the FAA and government, to try to get them that information that we had.
In the middle of that, we also got United 175, which was another aircraft departing from Boston, a Boeing 767, who reported to us that they had heard something suspicious on the frequency over in Boston Center. It sounded like an aircraft in trouble, possible hijack.
There were reports coming in very quickly of aircraft that had possibly gone Nordo and stopped talking on departure out of Boston. Once that information was received, it was pretty clear what was really unfolding in New York City.
It immediately strikes you that this is not a drill. This is not a suspected activity. This is confirmed. We have a significant event taking place in our air traffic system on that day.
We had already watched American 11 fly into one of the towers. We lost a primary target. At the same time, the TRACON was telling us they have an ELT in that area. So we knew that we lost an airplane at that point.
But as the second aircraft was also hijacked and the first aircraft hit the World Trade Center, I immediately made the connection that this was not a single event. This was an attack upon our country.
Our occupation, air traffic, was under attack by enemies of the country. And at the same time, everybody, while dealing with that, was dealing with the fact that most people had a friend, a neighbor, a family member, somebody they worked with very closely that actually worked in both of those buildings. So the challenge there was dealing with those kind of emotions while at the same time dealing with a crisis that was unfolding and changing by the minute.
Immediately, I instructed the operations manager, Bruce Barris, to stop all aircraft, all departures in the New York metropolitan area. Because with two hijacked aircraft converging in the New York area, you have to clear the airspace because you have an obvious safety threat, not only a security threat, against other airborne aircraft.
Frontline managers went back out into the workforce and said, okay, we've got to put these aircraft on the ground. So they were working with the controllers to then tell the pilots, you're going to have to land. We told them, you're not leaving our airspace. You're going to have to pick an airport, get a hold of the company, tell us where you're going to go and where you're going to land. Very difficult for our controllers, and as you can imagine, with the hundreds of flights just in Boston Center alone, what that would take when the other side of the mic has never done this before, has never heard of it, and all of a sudden we're implementing. Incredible feat by our workforce.
And probably one of the little-known things that is shared about New York Center is that they're also an oceanic air traffic control facility. So this meant at very early in the morning, as flights were halfway across the Atlantic Ocean to land in the United States, we had already initiated protocols to shut those arrivals off from the oceanic areas, and they had to make tough decisions such as either turn around and go back to Europe or go to alternate destinations, which many of them did in Canada.
There was no playbook, and we were reacting to trying to make our best guess, estimates as to how we're going to react to each and every individual flight that was out there.
This is it. This is the only way we can protect our country. This is what we're going to do, and we're going to move forward from here.
10 years later is interesting. It takes time to process, this type of situation. We've got a small little group that still stays in contact. The fog of war was very evident that day. 10 years later, sometimes it feels like yesterday.
We as a nation definitely have changed since then. But we, as air traffic controllers, have changed a lot in those 10 years also.
When I look back upon that tragic day, the thing that hits me the deepest is my pride in how all of our air traffic folks in the New York area came together and rose to the occasion and did the right thing and did it so well that it amazed the rest of the world.
They did an incredible job under, warlike conditions, and they did it with unbelievable precision. I hope we never ever have to do it again, but I know they can handle it.